Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle-earth here with a video looking at the Q&A the devs put out yesterday. I wanted to summarize the answers for you really quickly on here and give you my thoughts on how these things will impact the game, if they will at all. So stay tuned, all that's coming up in just 1 second. Alright, so if you're not in the main Discord, you don't follow the Rise to War channel on YouTube, I'll link both of those down below if you want to stay up to date with information as it comes out. Those will be linked down below. But we've got 5 questions here that were submitted by players on the Discord and answered by the developers. These are always, again, they're pretty good things because a lot of these things are questions that we ask and wonder about for a while and finally get clarification. So without really any more introduction needed, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it. The first question was, will there be registration for non-role play when Season 5 opens, when Tactics Evolves opened? When will the registration be for non-role play? And then what will the faction limit sizes be? And the answer here is yes, both are going to be opening. It's going to be opening non-role play and role play. They just said very soon, so whenever the next servers are going in. But it is opening non-role play and role play. In fact, actually, I think they are already live at this point because I've seen screenshots of both non-role play and role play. So long story short, there will be role play and non-role play right away in Season 5, which is a good thing because we didn't have that for Season 4. So those of you that enjoy non-role play will be able to play Season 5 right away. And then the faction size limits, it's going to be 350 is what they said. And then they did highlight as well, which we've already covered in the channel, but they highlighted as well that you'll be able to choose your faction in the back end with your team. So no more having to wake up in the middle of the night to join the server to make sure you get in the right faction with your friends before it fills up. You can join in back end, select your faction, and make sure you got a spot with your team. So I think that's fantastic news. Stuff that I think we had a rough idea about, but it's just good to hear it confirmed in a video from the devs where we can say, all right, this is what's happening. So that's question 1, and I'm pretty happy with the answers there. Not a whole lot more to say about it, but some good stuff there. The next question was, how long will the new season last, and will there be different durations for each season? Just asking, I believe the question was getting at, compared to other seasons 1 through 4, will Season 5 be any different in terms of the timeline? They started out by saying it's going to vary from server to server, but then they referenced Rebuilding Glory and said it's going to be about 50 days is what they said. So I think 50 days is the rough ballpark, but they did mention it will vary depending on servers, and maybe that just means depending on when your server starts and finishes and all that stuff. But again, it sounds like there can be some variation, but around 50 days for the new seasons, which is pretty standard. So no surprise there. The next question is one that I've gotten asked a lot, and that is, will Armored Sauron ever come back? And specifically, they even mentioned, will there be a permanent version of Armored Sauron? And the answer, in short, was no, there will not be an Armored Sauron as you saw him in the War of the Ring campaign. However, they did allude to there being future variations or even permanent variations in the future, but it will not be the same as the War of the Ring one, which was meant to be more powerful than the other commanders. So yes and no. There's a chance we might see Armored Sauron permanently or other commanders like that, but not the same as we saw him in Season 4 in War of the Ring. The next question was an interesting one when we've asked, or that I've talked about being very interesting for the game. The question was, will there be a new map in the future? And they said that there will be, but not in Tactics Evolved. So in Tactics Evolved, it's going to be the same map we've got right here, but they did say, yes, there's going to be new stuff to explore, new areas. I hope, again, I just think they should do same general map and structure of Middle-earth, but just different timelines where you see things changing, so it kind of shakes it up. I think that'd be really, really cool. So that's something we've talked about, a small thing to do to keep the gameplay relatively similar, but to really make it feel like it's a different experience. So it sounds like that's coming. Maybe it'll be Season 6, maybe it'll be Season 12, I don't know, but it could be coming in the future, which is good to hear. And the last one here is, can you create some sort of a PvP area in Bag End? The question was pretty long. I talked about so players can test builds and have all the gear available and all this kind of stuff. And the answer was, it actually surprised me because I didn't think this would be the answer. The answer was, we are working on it. Like, yes, that is coming, but they don't have a timeline for it. So to me, again, I would love any kind of PvP feature that allows us to test in more of a sandbox, because they're just commanders, especially how the gear system works. If you really want to test like the ideal build for certain commanders or the R10 weapons for certain commanders, it's expensive to do that. And so again, you test out someone like Dwalin, you want to try his axes, and then you want to try Merry and Pippin. Well, there's no way to get your items out of Dwalin's axes here. So it makes it, there's a lot of reasons it makes it difficult to really test out different gear, to test out different R10 items, to test out different respect levels, to see at what thresholds you kind of jump up, or, you know, where the commanders just stop getting much better. But they did say they're working on it. There's no timeline, but I think it'd be a great thing. And again, I'm surprised by this a little bit, because in my mind, the more we can test, that means the more people can really figure out if they want to go for commanders or certain gear before they do, which could deter spending a bit. At the same time, maybe testing will allow us to figure out and unlock more different types of builds and things that we hadn't thought of before, in which case we'll push people to do that more. I don't know. I'm sure they're thinking about that from the money side. But at the end of the day, if we're in bag end and can do PvP, that would be awesome, because it is very, very, very boring there. So if that was something that's implemented in the future, I would be extremely happy with that. And those are the 5 questions and answers that were asked in the Q&A video by the devs. Again, I'll link that video down below, and that'll be on their channel, so you can follow it if you want to. But again, all good things. Again, I actually was looking through the comments. One of the comments on there was that we need one of these things weekly, and I totally agree with that, because we got some very direct questions asked, and I mean, some of them were like, yes, but we don't have a timeline. But still, that's better than just us assuming we never will get a bag end, or people asking about Armored Sauron. Will he be permanent? And them saying, there's a chance, but not the version in War of the Ring. It's going to be different than that. So just clarifying some things that even if we already know or have an idea, getting a direct answer from the devs is really nice. So I would love to see more of a weekly version of this, even if it was less produced, if it didn't have to be them dressed up in the tavern. If there was just some kind of I mean, even if one of the devs went live on YouTube or Twitch and just answered a few questions, maybe they can't do that because they don't want to like say the wrong things on live, but I think that would be awesome. But either way, I enjoy these kinds of things because it gives us very clear answers on what's coming in the game. So let me know down in the comments below what you think of the answers we got yesterday, how you think they're going to impact the game, and what you're most excited for moving forward with Season 5. But that's going to do it for me in this video, and I'll see you all in a future one.